Welcome to the What Could Have Been Fantasy Football League podcast with your host, Ed Weirdo.
And welcome, everybody. Welcome back. Episode 13 of the What Could Have Been Fantasy Football podcast. 13, I know that's so lame. If you listen to like other podcasts, they're like on 1,000 and stuff like that. I got stuff to do, man. I got to work, bro, for a living. But I'm glad you joined me. In this video, we are going to do rankings for this season. So how is your season going to play out? What place are you going to end up in? You got to tune in to find out. Before I get started with the rankings, though, let me throw out a little quick piece of information. When we switched from Sleeper to ESPN, one of the things I really wanted to keep was that we keep the tight end at 1 point perception, while the receivers and the running backs are a half point, just because the tight end landscape is so bad. And it's like, you don't even want to start a tight end. So I wanted to keep that 1 point there just so that, you know, the scores for the tight end won't be like 3 and 4 and 2 and 3. You would have a chance to get to at least 6 or 7 points. So I did change that right before, well, not before the week one started completely, but I changed it before the Sunday game. So I think I changed it like Saturday. I found it. I found how to do it on ESPN. So the Thursday games had played out already, but there wasn't too many players that already played. So I was like, whatever, man. It's not going to hurt anybody. It's just going to help everybody. So I went ahead and changed that. So the tight ends are getting 1 point per reception. Then the other thing I was able to find was the money for the March Madness. I went ahead and put that in there for the Fab. And if you didn't get any money, you didn't play in March Madness. But I think I was nice and gave you $1 anyway, even though you didn't play. But when I do the brackets for March Madness again this year, make sure you enter. You never know how it's going to turn out. I just happened to get, the first place, I don't know anything about college basketball. I never watched a college basketball game in my life. Just, you get lucky, man. That's what I'm saying. Just enter it. Anybody can win this thing. But here we go. I don't want to waste your time too much. The rankings are kind of long. I'm sorry. But it does take a long time to go through 16 games. So here we go. Oh, man, I'm so busted. Look, the ceiling fan going round and round. I got the mic right here. Got this, plain Jane paint in the background. No Dallas Cowboys jerseys hanging up with Romo's autograph. I'm busted. I know everybody thought I had this really cool studio that I was going to record these podcasts. You would have never guessed I was in my own house, in my own office. But now that you see, I am. The immersive background and screen sharing does not work. I need an engineer. I need to hire somebody. If you know somebody that is willing to work for free, send them my way, please. But here we go. Let's do the rankings anyway. So I hate to do this. It is so painful. And I promise I'm not doing this to be a jackass. Although this person was always in the comments on Sleeper and on Twitter and bashing me for his draft grade, I didn't do this on purpose. I'm so sorry. I hate to do this. But this is just kind of how I see the season playing out. The last place, it's Ranton and Ravens. Dang it. So here's why. So again, it's not to get back at you for last year. It has nothing to do with that. We're cool now, man. You came to the draft party. I appreciate it. You brought some beer. I appreciate that as well. The main thing is I only really see one player on your team that's, a stud, and that's Justin Herbert. Of course, he's going to do big things, but all the other guys is like, So Isaiah Pacheco, I had Isaiah Pacheco on my team last year. He gets you 80 yards, 8 points every single week, 80 yards. And he looks really good, but he's never playing on third downs. And then once they get close to the red zone, they always sub in McKinnon. So Pacheco just 8 points every week. That's all you get. No touchdowns. Mostert, I like Mostert for week 1 and week 2, but then we're going to start getting healthy again. And Jeff Wilson to come back. They may even sign somebody off the streets. And Mostert, no joke. I had Mostert 2 years ago. Dude went in. Played one play. He played one play. He got 16 yards off one play. Came out the game and missed the rest of the season. I was like, what the heck? So at any moment, Mostert's going down. I promise you, man. So I can't really give you credit for having Mostert on your team. Drake London, ask Calvin. Calvin had London on his team last year. That dude is probably worse than Pacheco. If Pacheco gets 8 points a game, Drake London might get 4 points a game. For some reason, the Atlanta Falcons just don't pass the ball. They just run every play, no matter the down and distance. And so Drake London is going to be a huge bust for you. McLaurin, I also had McLaurin on my team last year. And then I think Ed had him the year before that, or vice versa. I had him 2 years ago, and Ed had him last year. Dude is so nerve-wracking. So if Pacheco gets 8 points a game, McLaurin's going to average like maybe 4 points a game. But every now and then, just when you're about to say, I'm never going to start this guy again, he'll go for like 25 and like, oh, sweet, he's back. And then the next game will be 4 points again. And I think he started off with turf toe to begin the season. So I'm out on that guy. Dalton Schultz, he took the bag, right? He took the money in Houston. Good luck with that. He should have stayed with Dallas and Dak, man. Dak made him a superstar, but oh well. I do love the Jets defense, okay? But I have to admit that I'm basing most of the rankings based off your starters to not include, the defense or the kickers. So look, I'll give you credit, man. You got probably, I think, the best defense in the league and the best kicker in the league. Absolutely. So I'm with you on that, man. And I'm with you on Herbert. But those other holes is just not going to be enough. Again, I'm sorry. All right. Please come to the party next year. Bring some more Coors Light, man. And I'll try to get your rankings up. At 15, it is Violento, Mr. Ortiz himself, the doctor. So why is he so low? Matthew Stafford, anybody? So Matthew Stafford, again, I don't think he plays all 17 games. He'll be out for sure with the back injury or such. He's about my age, I think. And then on top of that, Cooper Kupp, Cooper Kupp's not going to play the whole year. Matter of fact, Cooper Kupp's not even playing now. He's out at least 4 weeks on IR, right? So that's not going to help his situation. Josh Jacobs had so many carries last year. There's no way that, I think he had like 400 touches. No way he has 400 touches last year. And then after he did all that, played every game, the Raiders went ahead and what did they do? Give him a big contract? No, they gave him nothing. They did not extend his contract. They did not sign him to a new deal. They did not give him extra money. He doesn't want to play for those guys, right? And then play with all those touches. Think about this year. He didn't get paid, right? So this year he starts feeling bad. My knee's hurting. Something's hurting. He's like, yeah, I'm out, guys. Thanks for the money. So I don't see him playing all 16 games, 17 games this year. Dameon Pierce, I do like Dameon Pierce, but again, he plays for Houston. They're going to be down almost every game. He's not going to help you too much, and he doesn't play passing downs. I love Jamar Chase. So the only reason you beat Daniel and you're not in last place is because you got Jamar Chase. He is probably the first or second best receiver in the entire league. So that's why you are not in last place. Elijah Moore, don't see him doing anything. Pat Freiermuth, I like him. Matter of fact, Daniel had him on his team, and I had him on my team last year. I like him. He's pretty good. So that's why you are ahead of Daniel, because you got Pat Freiermuth at tight end. You got Jamar Chase. And that's it, really. Next up is 2 Girlies, 1 Cup. He is back in our league, baby. He is a former champion, but all those past accolades do nothing for your rankings. But what does good for your rankings, I do like Russell Wilson with Sean Payton coming back. Brian Robinson, how about this? He didn't get shot this summer. So I'm assuming he's going to be better this year because he didn't get shot. He's not playing off of a injury from a 9mm in his leg and his knee. So he's going to be better. Damian Harris, don't like Damian Harris. Chris Olave is a stud. I love him. He's a young talent. He's going to be good for a while. Fred messed up big time. I think Fred should have kept Chris Olave at a very cheap price. I would have definitely kept Chris Olave. DK Metcalf, not impressed. I don't know what to get from him with Geno as his quarterback, but he's good enough, man. He's good enough to get you to 14th place overall. I see Noah Gray there. That's supposed to be Travis Kelce. So if you had a healthy Travis Kelce, maybe you would bump up to like 13 or 12. But Travis Kelce's 34. You're like, okay, when is he going to get hurt? I'll tell you when. Week 1, that's when he's going to get hurt. So I had to knock you out. I had to knock you down a little bit for Travis Kelce. So that's why you're in 14th place. At 13 is Antonio Brown. So why is Antonio Brown in 13th ahead of these other guys? Overall, his team is decent. So he has Geno Smith. I don't think Geno Smith is studly, but I think Geno Smith is effective, and he did really well last year. So I count on him doing at least even Stevens this year with that. Breece Hall, not a fan of Breece Hall, not when they brought in Dalvin Cook. But I think as the year goes on, Breece Hall might do better as his knee starts feeling better. So he's decent. Deion Jackson, nah, you get no points for that. That's why you're in 13th place, because you got Deion Jackson on your team. If you had anybody else there, you would be ranked higher. T. Higgins, he's a good number 2 receiver, man. He's really good. Matter of fact, if he was on another team, you would say that he's a starter. However, when Jamar Chase didn't play last year, T. Higgins did not play like a starter. They shut him down. So, I mean, he's okay for number 2 for sure. Justin Jefferson, I skipped over only because, do I need to say anything? Justin Jefferson, probably the best player in the NFL right now. So that's what got you to 13, which is having Justin Jefferson on your team. George Brittle, man, no way George Brittle plays all the 14 games that we need for fantasy playoffs, right? Up into the playoffs to get you in. No way. He's not going to make it. So I did give you credit by moving you to 13 because you have George Kittle on his team, but I got to knock at the same time because I know he's not going to play the whole year. Sorry. At number 12, Cowboys. So this team is decent, man. Overall, we're trying to get to the teams now where there's not any gaping holes, right? Before, every team had some gaping holes. This might be the first team that doesn't have a really gaping hole on it. Lamar Jackson, although I don't think that he'll ever play like he did in his MVP season, but I mean, he's going to be decent, right? Dalvin Cook, again, him and Breece Hall are going to split so much, but early on, Dalvin Cook should get majority of the work. So I feel that, that's going to help you out in the short term, and maybe you try to trade for Breece Hall in case one of them gets hurt. Cam Akers, I'm not a fan of the Rams offense right now, but they don't have nobody else to run the ball. So he is the starting running back. So, he's going to get the volume at least. Calvin Ridley. Oh, I'm so excited about Calvin Ridley. I wanted Calvin Ridley on my team. I had him on my team before he left for the mental health issues. And then before he started gambling on games. So I did have Calvin Ridley. I love Calvin Ridley. He was my keeper one year, matter of fact. So I like him. And I'm excited that he's back. Deontay Johnson. So that would be probably the weakest player on your team. He had how many touchdowns last year? Oh, yeah, 0. So he had 0 touchdowns last year. So I can't really give you too much credit for having him. But I had him on my team last year, and I know that he's always open. So this dude end up the game with like 12 catches per game. The only problem is he's not scoring any touchdowns. So again, he's not like a huge weakness for your team, but he's not going to go for 20 points ever. Njoku, he had some really big games towards the end of last year. They gave him a big contract. This dude is huge. I don't know if you've ever seen Njoku in real life. Like they show him in shorts with no shirt on during training camp. This dude is a monster. Like he looks like some kind of Greek god. This dude is huge, and he's like just ripped. When I grow up, I'm gonna be just like him. And my wife would appreciate it. But for now, yeah, I mean, you get some credit for having him on your team, but not a lot. Number 11 is Bad Mojo. Bad Mojo is the champion from last year. However, the champion is going to fall to 11th place this year. He is 11th place, though, because he has Josh Allen on his team. Josh Allen, I had him on my team last year, and before he hurt his elbow, Josh Allen was scoring like 30 points a game. He was money. Like I won every game in my other league just because I had Josh Allen on my team. I also had Diggs too, so that was a nice combo. Aaron Jones, I mean, he's getting old too. He's not my age yet, but he's getting up there. So, I mean, he's not, but he's not a deficit, right? He's not like somebody like, oh man, you got that guy on your team, he's going to kill you. No, Aaron Jones is fine. Miles Sanders, that's the closest player to having on your team that's like a weakness. I have no idea what he's going to do in Carolina, but even Deontay Foreman and what's the other guy's name? Chuba Herbert did pretty good in Carolina last year. So, I mean, he can't be worse than those guys. Chris Godwin, Baker Mayfield, I don't know, man. I don't know about Baker, but Chris Godwin, he's like Deontay Johnson. He's always open. So he's going to get some targets. He's going to get some catches. He'll rack up some yards. And then we'll see if Baker can get him in the end zone. George Pickens had him on my team last year. So exciting. So if you watch Twitter and you follow Twitter, the timelines, right? All you see is George Pickens highlights. This dude is sweet. The one-handed catches, out of bounds, like OBJ-like, but just a bigger guy. The only problem is he doesn't get many targets during the game. So he'll have, a touchdown and maybe like 20 yards, and that'll be it. So it's enough you never feel like I got 0 out of him, but he's never going to get 20 for you just because he doesn't get enough catches. Hawkinson last year had so many catches. They threw the ball to him so much. So he's going to get a lot of catches for you. And since we get 1 point per reception, that's going to help you out, even if he gets in the end zone or not. But overall, it's a solid team. You don't have any glaring weaknesses. And even your defense, Pittsburgh's defense, not horrible. So this is a pretty good team. That's why I got you at 11 out of 16. That's not bad. And number 10, this team is like the first. Now we're starting to get to the stronger teams. So this team I feel is strong. It's like the first of the strong teams. You don't have anybody that's a superstar, but you just got guys straight down the line that are all pretty solid. So Lawrence is solid. Etienne is solid. Connor, again, he's getting up to be my age, but he's not a weakness. Like, he's going to get the carries. There's nobody else in Arizona. He's getting all the carries. Hopkins, he's not the Hopkins from, 5-6 years ago, but he's still good. Last year, he showed, like, at the last few games where he played with Arizona after he came back, he was getting a lot of catches and he was getting open. So the guy's good. You're not going to beat anybody for 80-yard touchdowns anymore, but he doesn't need to anymore. Cortland Sutton, the only reason why Cortland Sutton is not a glaring weakness is because Denver lost all their receivers in the summertime, right? I can't remember all the guys' names exactly, but even Jerry Jeudy got hurt and Tim Patrick got hurt. And then there was one more guy. So, like, Cortland Sutton is it. That's all they have left. So, of course, he's going to do good because he has nobody else to throw to. Russell Wilson, that is. Tyler Higbee, Cooper Kupp going down. So, if Cooper Kupp played, Tyler Higbee's okay. Cooper Kupp goes down, put on IR. Oh, Tyler Higbee's a stud, man. This dude's getting all the catches because Matt Stafford, he's worried about getting hurt and taking a sack of his back. So who's he going to throw to? The closest guy to him, Tyler Higbee. Dallas Cowboys defense. Oh, I'm so hurt. You don't even like the Cowboys. You're a freaking Texans fan, man. Pick the Texans defense. Let me have the Cowboys defense. Dallas Cowboys. But yes, I love the defense. That's going to help you out a lot this year, I feel, man. I feel like, I don't know, the first game of the season, they might shut New York Giants out completely. Like, New York Giants might have 0 points game one, is my prediction. Dallas Cowboys might have, like, I don't know, 26 fantasy points, something crazy like that. They might just win you the first game. Again, I have not seen the games that are coming up in week one. I'm just guessing that's what's going to happen. I'm guessing that the Dallas Cowboys defense is going to be legit that first game. So because of that, man, your roster is pretty solid, like from top to bottom. Again, there's no glaring superstars, but there's no glaring weaknesses either. So top 10, there you are. I'm going to take a quick break. When I come back, we're going to go through the top 9. So in the meantime, enjoy these videos.
What could have been? I am here to say I really need your guys' feed donation, which will be the wings, to help me pay for this poor little buzzard's food. Because we're going to need all of that money this year to satisfy this kid's hunger.
Hey, Daddy, when you gonna stop playing? Bad bitch, I could be a fantasy. I could tell you got big D energy.
I never took a straight path nowhere. Life's full of twists and turns, bumps and bruises. I live, I learn.
So let me just tell you why I feel like my fantasy team's gonna win. I got the big 3: McHomie, Derrick Henry, Tyler Lockett. As long as they stay consistent, they stay healthy, we in there. We number 1, the best.
And I hope you guys enjoyed those videos. Again, you know what? I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for sending those videos. Trying to make this league as fun as possible, right? And by you guys participating and sending videos like that, it's just fun for everybody. And if you didn't get a chance to send a video this time around, I think of something for us to send videos on next time. But it's just kind of good to see everybody's faces, know who you're playing against. Everybody kind of, coming together to make this league as fun as possible. And so again, thank you for sending the videos in, Calvin and Lily. Yeah, I appreciate it very, very, very much. All right, so let's get back to the rankings. So number 10, we had Tejanos. All right, now we're moving into the bottom 9, or should I say the top 9? I'm not sure how that works. Not a math teacher. So here we go. Coming in at number 9, pigskin and fries. That will be Mr. Sean. So how did he come into the top 10 inside of the top 10? He has a couple of stars, right? You have to have stars on your team. So although I like Tejano's team overall, there was not a real superstar unless you count Trevor Lawrence. So this team, I do like Jalen Waddle. Okay, I think Jalen Waddle is a top receiver in the league. I do like Darren Waller. I think Darren Waller is the one of the best top 3 tight ends that we have right now. Not sure if he's going to play well against Dallas. I mean, that's just a tough defense in general. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. Keenan Allen's going to get you through half the season, right? I don't see him playing the whole year, but I think he's going to do okay. He'll get hurt. He'll miss a couple of games. Man, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm looking at this team. I don't know. I'm going back. Switch it. You know what? I like this team better. Here we go. Tejanos, you were in the top 9, baby. Tejanos, you're number 9. Pigskin and Fries, you're number 10. I just talked myself into putting you back at 10. I'm trying to look at this. I'm like, Sam Howell. I'm like, I don't know about Sam Howell. I do like Ramondre Stevenson. David Montgomery, I like him. He's okay. But yeah, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, Pigskin and Fries, sorry, buddy. You're not inside the top 10. You're number 10. Tejanos is number 9. Moving on. All right, number 8. Here's where we get good. So here's our like studly. We're talking about, what's the guy's name that plays Thor? Real cute looking guy from Australia with a nice accent. I don't know the guy's name. I don't have a picture on my phone or anything of the guy. But anyways, that's the kind of stud stuff that I'm talking about. This guy has some studs on his team. Not Anthony Richardson. Not that guy. Yeah, we're not talking about him. Cancel him. Anthony Richardson, supposedly he played in, I think, Florida, right? And he can run really well. Dude is huge. At the combine, he was the best tested athlete at quarterback ever in the league. Even better than Michael Vick, right? Not speed-wise, but just overall. So the dude has talent, apparently. I don't know. But how well can he play quarterback? We'll find out. So I'll give you a little bit of credit, right? Because you earn points in fantasy for running. So if he's that good of an athlete, I figure he's going to run a lot, which racks up points. So I'll give you a little bit of credit on him. I don't like the guy that much, though. Bijan is, I've seen his Twitter feeds, right? And I've seen the highlights. That guy can play. I'm like, is this guy a receiver or a running back? However, I did go to a UT game when they played Iowa State. Iowa State beat these guys. Was not impressed by Bijan. I actually like the backup, Roshan Johnson. That guy looked great. Bijan, I don't know. He didn't have a great game. That day I went, maybe I'm the problem, right? Maybe I'm bad luck. But overall, this dude is very, very, very good. So I like Bijan. He's a star. Najee, had Najee on my team 2 years ago. Never again. Ed had him last year. He'll tell you the same thing. Never again, right? He's a starting running back. He's going to get the carries, blah, 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 blah. He'll get enough touches to be okay. Whatever. Tyreek Hill, that guy is fast, man. So Tyreek Hill and Bijan on the same team, that is deadly. All right. I mean, Tyreek can go for like, I don't know, he probably can go for 40 by himself. So I wouldn't be surprised week 1, Tyreek comes out and has 40 points, right? That would not surprise me at all. Again, I haven't seen the tape. I haven't seen the weeks play out. Maybe he only has 5 points, but it would not surprise me if he has 40 points. So Tyreek Hill, I have a feeling is going to be amazing week 1. Mike Williams, I had him on my team. Like all these guys, I feel like I had everybody on my team, right? This whole league so far. I would never have Mike Williams on my team ever again. He went for like 0 points one game against Daniel, right? I was playing Daniel. I lost that week. Herbert decided he's going to throw every single ball to some wide receiver I've never even heard of. So then I trade Mike Williams for Michael Pittman. And I'm like, oh, yes, I won on that trade for sure. Mike Williams goes for like 30 the next week in week 2, right? I'm like, Jesus, man. And Michael Pittman never goes for more than 12 the whole year, right? So thanks, Will. You're lucky. Thank you. You could thank me, actually, for giving you Mike Williams for Michael Pittman. Juwan Johnson. So I saw a report, right? So Juwan Johnson and David Carr are like long-lost brothers, apparently. That has to be a good sign, right? If the quarterback and the new tight end, they feel like they're long-lost brothers, that has to help the situation. So I'll give you some points for Juwan Johnson. Again, if you've never heard of him, he is the tight end for New Orleans. But yeah, you got to go back and there's some reports and there's some stories out there about that. So Bijan, Tyreek, that puts you at 8. Just those 2 guys by themselves. Just plug in whoever you want in all the other spots. But you can win a week with just those 2 guys by yourself. All right, here we go. Number 7. So 7, how is this team better? I don't like the stars, right? I don't like this team as like it has better stars than Calvin's team, but I like the overall talent of the team. So Aaron Rodgers, I'm like, man, maybe this guy comes out and does like Tom Brady, like, you know what? Screw you, Green Bay. I'm leaving you guys, and I'm getting a Super Bowl trophy with the New York Jets. That'll show you, right? I have a feeling, and I've seen him play against the Cowboys. This dude has knocked out the Cowboys in the playoffs like at least 3 times. So I've seen him play. The dude is great. So I'm going to give you credit for Rodgers. Joe Mixon, he's not extraordinary, but he's solid. He's solid enough. He's the only running back that Cincinnati has, right? So he should do decent. Antonio Gibson, that is actually a glaring weakness on your team, right? The guy that plays in front of him is Robinson. Again, did not get shot this summer, got shot the summer before. So I don't like Gibson at all. I do like Garrett Wilson. I love what you did. I love that stack. Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson. The only thing that can stop that is an injury to Rodgers, I guess. Like, let's say Aaron Rodgers goes down with an ankle injury in week 1. Oh, man, that's going to help that. That's going to hurt that stack, right? But I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I haven't seen week 1 yet. I have no idea what's going to happen. But, you know, just in case if Aaron Rodgers goes down like in the first quarter, then obviously I don't like this team as much, right? I'll have to move him back. But as the way it stands, I like this team. Jahan Dotson, I had him on my team at the end of last year. I like him. He is fast. So McLaurin, right? I'm knocking McLaurin because I don't think he's going to stay healthy. And he already has turf toe already, and he's getting older. Jahan Dotson, that dude is going to take his place. He's fast. And I saw him, I think he played at Ohio State. If I'm not mistaken. But I saw him in the preseason this year, and I saw his highlights on Twitter. He is fast, and I think he's going to be great. So you see Isaiah Likely there, right? That's not who's supposed to be there. And again, this team, I think overall is good partly because that tight end that should be in that spot is what's the other guy's name? Mark Andrews, right? But Mark Andrews got hurt before I made this podcast. So they've already went through and traded in Isaiah Likely for week 1 at least. But when Mark Andrews comes back, he's going to be fine. So, you know, you have Rodgers and you have the Garrett Wilson connection. You got Mixon, who's solid. You got Mark Andrews. You got the Eagles defense. That's a good team, man. I just hope Aaron Rodgers doesn't get hurt week 1, like with an ankle injury or something like that. All right, number 6. These are right before you almost made the top 5, but not quite. But hey, close enough, man. 24. So I had to spell it out because otherwise the 2-4 was like really small. So I put 24. But he's coming in number 6. Why number 6? It's more like why not, right? Like why not 1, right? So why is he not 1? Great team. Watson looked horrible at the end of last year. And I just, after, you know, the off the field stuff, man, I just can't cheer for the guy, man. It's like, and I saw him in a press conference this summer. Dude had no remorse for what he did, right? It was just like, oh, you know, what was his excuse? It's because of the way I was brought up. I didn't have a father at home. I'm like, no, man, that's BS. You know, for the most part, you know, all my friends didn't have fathers at home, right? They were all raised by their moms. None of them were doing stuff like what he's doing, man. He's just weird. And again, the stuff that he does off the field, I can't vote for the guy. But, you know, he's decent at quarterback. Kenneth Walker, he's really, really good. They drafted a dude named Charbonnet. How much is this guy Charbonnet going to play? I don't know. Let me turn off my, I'm not sure what's going on right now. Something's going on in the world. Let me turn off my alerts. But I like Walker. He is really fast. He's talented. And as long as he can stay healthy and control that groin injury, he's going to be really good. Nick Chubb, not even going to waste time. One of the best running backs in the league. A.J. Brown, I'm not wasting time. Him and Jalen Hurts last year hooked up a lot. Going to be great. So, again, Watson's off the field is ridiculous. Like, you know, don't get me started on that. But, you know, he could be decent. He was really good in Houston. Walker, really good. Chubb, really good. So that, you know, that's 3 guys that are pretty good already. AJ Brown, we got 4. Then we get to Deebo Samuel. I don't see it this year. Brandon Ayuk, I feel like Brandon Ayuk is going to step up and do a lot better. Him and Purdy were hooking up a lot last year. That's, you know, Ayuk and Purdy. I wouldn't be surprised if Deebo has 0 touchdowns week 1, and then Brandon Ayuk has like 2 touchdowns week 1. I wouldn't be surprised. Just because in the preseason, that's kind of the way it's been going. So I do have to knock you a little bit for Deebo. Gerald Everett, I believe Gerald Everett and I are the same age. I'm pretty sure. I'm not mistaken. So I can't give you too much credit for that. The San Fran defense, they are sweet. I had them on my team last year. They're sweet, but then Nick Bosa went down, and that changed everything. So if Bosa stays healthy, you're gonna be fine with that defense. So that's what got you up to 6. So you're thinking, like, how can I beat this guy? All right, well, I'll show you. Top 5. Whoa, thought you knew. No, this is not because she's my wife, right? She doesn't care enough, right? I could put her last place. She don't care. I just think her team is decent. So Dak, he can't get worse than last year, right? He has to have some kind of a year. This has to be his year. This has to be the year they make it to the Super Bowl. So I'm giving it a little bit credit on Dak. I'm not calling him a stud. I hate Dak personally. I was a quarterback. Nicest guy in the world. He seems like really nice guy, really nice friend, really nice role model. I think he stinks as a quarterback. So I'm actually going to knock her a little bit for Dak. But I like James Cook as a talent. I think he's going to be really good. He catches balls out of the backfield. He has some receptions. He's really fast. I mean, he can run for a 75-yard touchdown at any point in the game. Khalil Herbert, same thing. He had like one catch in the preseason, and it happened to be a touchdown. So he has big playability. Amon-Ra St. Brown. I was so mad that Daniel had him on his team last year. I wanted him. That guy can catch, and he catches everything. So he'll average, 10 catches a game easily. Devontae Adams, no need to say anything about that guy. He's otherworldly. Jake Ferguson. So I'm kind of tying these two guys together, right? So Dak made Dalton Schultz look like he was Tony Gonzalez. And then Dalton Schultz left and got a big payday, right? So Dak does like to tight end. So if these two guys can hook up, I mean, man, that could be the moon right there. And I think she got Jake Ferguson for like $1, right? So that can be really, really good. But if Dak, plays the Giants and maybe, I don't know, like a defense just scoring all these touchdowns, interceptions, fumble recoveries, kickoff returns, whatever, right? And Dak never gets to play offense, then yeah, of course it's going to hurt her team for that week. But yeah, I'm not sure. I hope that's not what happens in week 1, where defense scores all the touchdowns and Dak doesn't even get on the field. But it could happen. So and then she has the Seahawks defense. I'm not getting to defenses, right? So skip that. I do like Tyler Basto as a kicker, but you can't see. If you look way, 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 way down there, can't really see it. But on the bench, she has Brandon Ayuk. I love that guy. So I think at some point she's gonna have to make a move. So y'all might want to send her some offers at some point. Don't send her anything ridiculous. Come on now, be nice. It might be her first year in the league, but don't send her nothing ridiculous. Give her something fair at least. She can run it by me anyway, right? I won't trade with her, but if there's a trade that's pretty fair for both teams, absolutely, yeah, I'll be like, yeah, take that trade, man. That's a good trade. But I think she'll be able to take either Devontae Adams or Amon-Ra or Brandon Ayuk and trade one of those, and then maybe upgrade at running back, right? Or take a running back plus one of those receivers and upgrade. Or either upgrade at quarterback. Like if she upgrades at quarterback or running back, like I'm saying, her team is solid. She has options. So that's why she's 5. Moving on. Number 4, Pequitas. I have no idea what that means in Spanish or English, I guess. I don't know. I have no idea. I could look it up on Google if I wanted to, but don't care. However, I like her team though. So I like Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow had like the 3rd best scoring last year in our league as a quarterback with like 400 fantasy points. It was crazy. Austin Eckler, that dude's a monster. Last year he had like a horrible start to the year, like the first 4 games, but then after that he was like 30 points a game, guaranteed. Jerry McKinnon is a big hole. Not happy with that pick, right? But again, she has Eckler, she has Burrow, she has Diggs. I had Diggs on my team last year. That guy is great. So I like Diggs. She has Mike Evans. Don't like the guy as a player, right? He's getting older. He played with Johnny Manziel in college, matter of fact. But he's averaging 1,000 yards every season, right? So he's going to be decent. Dallas Goedert, I had Goedert on my team last year. You're like, wait a minute, how many guys did you have on your team last year? That's like 12 already. I'm like, I know. Maybe I'm just making this shit up. I don't know. But yeah, Dallas Goedert, he's solid. He's a very solid tight end. He got hurt and missed like 6 games. But when he got hurt, he was a number 3 tight end last year. So I like Burrow. I like Eckler. I like Diggs. Evans is okay. I like Goddard. Evan McPherson, again, I don't rate the kickers, But that guy, 50 plus, whatever, he's money, right? So he's great. So overall, her team is really good. She has lots of studs on her team. Let's go down to number 3. Team Hamill. My man, this dude was like the laughing stock of our league for years and years and years. Him and Calvin were the worst, man. But last year I liked his team last year, and I really like his team this year, right? So he's number 3. So of course I like his team. Jalen Hurts. Oh, I wanted Jalen Hurts so bad, but Hamill paid so much. Like, I don't know. I guess it was like $50 or something crazy. I wasn't willing to go that high, but man, I wanted Hurts on my team so bad. Saquon, I wanted Saquon on my team so bad, but he plays the Cowboys week 1. So me and Hamill play each other week 1. So hopefully Saquon gets completely shut out. Like I hope to, like I said earlier when I talk about the Cowboys defense could hold the Giants to 0 points. So Saquon might have a bad game week 1, but overall for the season, he's going to be fine. Jamal Williams, man, I was so mad that Hamill has him on his team because Kamara's out for suspension. The backup running back got hurt. Jamal Williams is the only running back in New Orleans. So I'm kind of mad that Hamill gets to play him against me because he might have a big game. CeeDee Lamb, I wanted CeeDee Lamb on my team too, man. Hamill has all these guys I would have loved to have, but Hamill was just willing to pay more for CeeDee Lamb. Amari Cooper, no, don't want that guy on my team. So he's a weakness, right? So Hamill has to have some weaknesses, right? Because it has to be 2 teams in front of him. So Cooper is 1. I docked him for Cooper, and I definitely docked him for a rookie tight end. They already have Dawson Knox. So how much is Kincaid going to play? I don't know, right? I have no idea. So I docked him for those 2. Otherwise, his team is super, super, super. Good job, Hamill. Number 2, whose team is better than Hamill's? Bam! My team, baby. Dab. Do people even do that? Did I do it right? Dab. Yes. I'm number 2. What? No, it's not a homer pick, man. I think my team is really good. Justin Fields. So Justin Fields last year was averaging 100 yards rushing a game at the end of the season and a touchdown. Like this guy had like 80-yard touchdowns, one every game. It was stupid. I really was hoping that Sean wouldn't keep him, and he didn't. When he didn't keep him, I was like, Justin's going to be on my team. Guaranteed. There's no way I leave the draft without Justin Fields. CMC, I didn't want to keep him at $60. That's a lot of money. But I'm thinking, man, what about if he goes for like a 60-yard touchdown in week 1 and I don't have him on my team? I'm going to be so mad. So I said, you know what? Whatever. I just pay $60 and I get Christian McCaffrey on my team. I'm not keeping him after this year. Like, I think this is it. Like, if he can stay healthy this year, that's it. I'm not pushing my luck with him. So if y'all want him next year, y'all can have him. But this year, I mean, he might start off week 1 with like 28 points. I have no idea. Madison. So every year they say draft Alexander Madison, right? He's the backup to Dalvin Cook. And if Dalvin Cook goes down, Madison's going to be a stud. Well, guess what? Dalvin Cook's not even on the team anymore. He went to the Jets. So Madison, yeah, why wouldn't he be a stud the whole year? So last year, every time he played for Cook, he had like 20 points every time he subbed in. So if I can get like 15 points every game, I'd be happy with that. DJ Moore, the only reason I picked DJ Moore, because I saw him and Justin Fields hanging out in the summer, not in real life, but on TV on ESPN. And it was kind of weird, man. They were a little girly, a little giggly and stuff hanging around each other. I'm like, man, this is kind of weird. But I was like, well, they had to be like each other. And maybe that helps on the field. Like Justin Fields like, man, who am I going to throw it to? And then he's like, okay, I got to throw it to my boy. It's DJ Moore. And then if he doesn't, DJ Moore comes in like, oh, man, how come you throw it to me, man? You're being, whatever, right? And then they hurt each other's feelings. And so I don't know. I just think the two guys, after what I've seen this summer, that they like each other enough that they can try to keep each other happy and be friends. So I like that combination. But again, it could totally come back and bite me. If Justin Fields can't pass the ball, DJ Moore can have like 5 points or 4 points in week 1. I have no idea. It could go that way. Or DJ Moore can have like 25 points week 1. Zay Flowers, like, who in the heck is Zay Flowers? I know, right? Who is Zay Flowers? I don't know, man. Apparently, he's supposed to be really, really good. And apparently, Baltimore's supposed to throw the ball a lot. So if they throw the ball a lot and he's really good, maybe it's going to work out. So I don't know. I have a feeling it's going to work out. But I don't know. We'll see. So he has a lot of upside. Sam Laporte, like, who's that guy? I know, right? Who the heck is Sam Laporte? Like, if you watch a lot of college football, you know who that guy is. He was amazing in college. They lost TJ Hawkinson. So I'm thinking to myself, if they lose TJ Hawkinson, but give this guy everything that TJ Hawkinson was getting, I don't need him to score a touchdown. He's going to catch so many passes, it's not going to matter. And then I'm so immature. But I'll let you look at my kicker and read the name. And yeah, I know I'm super immature, super immature. I need to grow up. I got issues. Well, I'm not a complete homer because I would have put myself number one, right? Or did I want to put myself number one? But I'm thinking that is bad karma and I'm bad juju and I'm just jinxing myself. So I really think I'm number one, but I put myself number two just not to get jinxed. I don't know. That's for you to find out. So here we go. If you start thinking about everybody that's in our league, you're like, I don't know, I lost count, bro. Or I'm not even paying attention anymore, man. I forgot to push stop on the video itself. Then maybe you don't guess who number one is. I'll tell you what, the person that is number one hasn't seen their name popped up, so they know they're number one. Who is it? Bam! My man Z. Z and Calvin and Hamill were the laughing stock of the league for years and years and years. Z, I think he really put it together this year. This is crazy. That's what I love about auction. So Hamill and Ed and Fred, they told me about auction like years ago, right? And I was like, no, I'm not doing that, man, because truth be told, I thought it would be too hard. And I really like the snake draft where you can kind of like just pick and pick and pick and pick and pick. And like when I get my pick, I know exactly who my whole team's going to be. So I like that security, but I have to admit, auction is the best. Don't ever go back to snake. And if anybody tries to run a snake draft, don't even join the league, man. That is so prehistoric. This is the greatest. Why is it the greatest? Look at Z's team. There's no way ever. I don't care who you play with. I don't care if it's a 10-team league. Like this team will be good in a 10-team league. This team might be good in an 8-team league. He has Patrick Mahomes, Tony Pollard, Derrick Henry, all on the same team. That is crazy. Patrick Mahomes is a number one overall player in fantasy. Derrick Henry has been a number one overall player before, and he's still a top player. Tony Pollard is supposed to be the number one player this year. Like this team is crazy. And I mean, it's not like the rest of his team is just horrible. Tyler Lockett has been solid every year for Seattle. Jacoby Myers, like, who is that guy? I don't know who he is either, right? But if you go back and look at his stats, he's been really solid for New England for the past few years. Evan Ingram, like, wait a minute, that guy that used to play for the Giants, yeah, man, that guy can never stay healthy. But if you watch him play, he's so athletic, and he has so much upside as a tight end. He's really like a receiver in a tight end's body. He's really good, but he just has to stay healthy. So, I mean, overall, this team is legit. So, all right, Z, good job, brother. Way to put this together. I don't even know how much you spent to get these guys, but man, you did a great job. So good luck, bro. I see you finishing up number one, and it's up to you to manage the team and keep it that way. I hope you guys enjoyed this show, and I'm sorry if the rankings seemed like they were a little long-winded, but I had to be thorough to make sure that everybody knew why they were ranked a certain way. Thank you again for Lily and Z. I'm sorry I forgot to mention you the first time. And Calvin for sending the videos. Again, it's so much more fun to see everybody interact. I want to have more guests on the show. Now that school's back in session, I don't have as much time as I would like to make these podcasts. But whenever I can, if you ever want to come on, I know Terry, my wife, she was real hesitant about joining. But then she got on and we started doing the podcast together, and she had so much fun. Calvin and I always have a blast. The only problem is Calvin and I, always something happens and the dang thing never records. So you guys never get to see those episodes, but I promise you they're the greatest. And Z too. Z has joined me as well, and he's done great as well. So, I appreciate having you guys on the show. Don't be afraid, man. Don't be afraid. Get on a podcast. It's fun. Talk, noise to the people you're playing against, your opponents, whatever, it's just fun. But thank you guys for tuning in, and see you next episode.